All right, so as promised, I'm bringing you a video about footwear. And I know it's kind of weird for a gun channel, mainly a gun channel, to be talking about things like footwear, but I think it's something that's kind of overlooked. And if you're like anything like me, finding a good pair of shoes or boots and the struggle of like going back and trying to find the same one is um, is a real struggle out there, right? So I kind of ran into this issue after moving to Florida. I've lived all over the place, all over the United States. I'm a first generation immigrant. I wasn't even born here in the United States. I was born in Korea. When I moved over to the States, I moved to the States around Atlanta, Georgia area. And then my parents, for work, my father more specifically, we moved down to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and then we lived in Iron Mountain, Michigan. We lived in Pensacola, Florida. We lived in Neenah, Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Oxford, Ohio, Hamilton, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. Um, and then after I moved out of my parents, I lived in places like northern Texas, Louisiana, Louisville, Kentucky. I was just in Louisville, Kentucky a few years ago for my last job. I quit that job, and then I'm currently working at uh, the job that I've been working at ever since for like the last, well, I don't know, it's like three and a half, going on 4 years now. And ever since I moved down to Florida, I've noticed that the soles of my shoes have just been falling apart, and it's kind of like due to the heat. It's due to the wet weather, and in my line of work, I clean floors, and that's the business that I'm taking over. I just got done doing the Department of Revenue, and it's a large job. It used to take 3 weekends, but they're asking us to do it in 2 weekends. And I do everything from cleaning like tile and grout, carpet, we do upholstery, we do fine oriental and like Persian rugs, and we do VCT, which is stripping the wax off of floors and then resurfacing it with a wax coating and stuff. So after it's kind of a long way of saying that I've been going through a lot of shoes since I've lived down here in Florida, and I'm going to show you an old pair. And I say an old pair, but I bought these. These are Nikes, probably. Oh, I don't know. It's not even a year ago, right? So it was probably right at a year. I wore these for 3 months. This is 3 months of use in Florida, and you can see this is always the problem that I have. And these are nasty shoes just because of all the work that I do. So I usually buy cheap shoes. These were, 45 or $50 at the Nike outlet around the Orlando area, and this is what happens to all my shoes, all of them, every single pair. My boots too. They just start falling apart after about 2.5, 3 months of use. And my last pair, these are cheap. I bought these at a Nordstrom outlet, and I buy tennis shoes because they're comfortable and stuff. Again, I've worn these for about a month and a half before I kind of retired them, and these held up actually decently well. I've been trying to find a pair that's um, the soles basically don't start coming out of them. And then I started seeing other channels talking about Altamas because I've been looking for a good pair of boots. This is another pair of boots. This is the Walmart special boot, but you can see again the soles are coming off the boot. These are super super nasty because I strip floors, and these are covered in dry wax. You can see how bad they look. But for $30, kind of as a throwaway pair, you could do something like that, right? But I can get about. I don't strip floors nearly as much as clean like tile and grout, so I might wear these once, maybe twice a month. So after about a year of wearing them for once or twice a month, they typically start to end up looking like that. And again, the soles will just fall off right off of them. So I thought maybe I'm not going to wear these to strip floors with, but I did start to buy some nicer boots. So I wear. It's hot here in Florida. Don't wear. I wear boots a lot in the winter time. In the summertime, I typically wear tennis shoes. And technically, these Altamas are considered boots. They look like Chucks, like Converse Chucks or Vans, which is kind of a cool look. They offer different heights. I like the shorter heights just because I don't need to have that ankle rolling protection that you'll get on the higher ankled boots, and I've really liked these so far. So I have worn these pair of boots, and I've been taking better care of these than I would like my tennis shoes. But these are easier to clean off and stuff. There's two different kinds of Altamas here. You have maritime assaults, and you have urban assaults, and there's a difference. There's going to be different material. The maritime assaults, they're meant to drain water, get wet, and the material on the outside is going to be Cordura. I'm not sure what the material are on the urban assaults, but it's a softer, more pliable, flexible material, a little more breathable. And these are a little lighter weight, but I've been wearing these Altamas for about 2 months. So I've worn these to clean floors with, and these honestly clean up really well. And I do actually try to take care of my boots, take care of my shoes. I'd clean them off after like a nasty job. I don't just like kick them off at the door. So like I actually rinse them and do things to them to try to upkeep them. And I've had these probably the longest. I started out, I just bought one pair starting out just to see if I liked it, see how the fit was. And I liked them so much, I bought obviously ones in other colors. And you might be asking, how much are these? Uh, I typically don't support companies like Amazon, but if you're looking for these particular boots, they might have your size for the prices that I'm stating. And I'm kind of buying multiple pairs of the colors that I like because I'm afraid down the road either the price is going to increase, because normally these boots are MSRP like 100 to 130 depending on the style and the colorway that you want. And I've been picking these up. $40 for these, $40 for these, $50 for these, $50 for these, and $60 for those. I think those are pretty reasonable for a decent set of boots. And this is M81 Woodland. I actually like the look quite a bit. I like that it's brown. So again, for $40, you can't complain. Now, there is something I wanted to talk about with the maritime assaults is if you're going to wear them every day, the insole that they give you for the here, these are probably a little bit easier because I wear these a little bit more. I don't wear these as just a backup right now because I just started wearing these, so I'm not going to wear two sets of the same boot. But the insole, it's rubberized. And what'll happen if you're wearing socks? I think these are designed not to wear socks with. Your foot will catch the insole and it will kind of move it around because it's kind of slick on the bottom. But this insole is meant to repel water. Like this will not soak up water. And that's the whole point of these boots. You got drain holes on the side for your maritime assaults. These have just been very durable. Like my feet get constantly wet and dry. I'm splashing chemicals, like harsh chemicals like acetic acid, Talon grout acid, even like carpet cleaner, which has like a higher pH levels in them. Um, they're getting sprayed onto my shoes, and I'm walking on floors, and I have to imagine that's why that the outsoles are partially coming apart. That and just the heat. So when you're walking on blacktop in Florida, if anyone else lives in Florida, you know the struggle of how hot the blacktop is. If you I can't walk barefoot on the blacktop. That's how hot it is. So I would have to imagine that the glue is actually getting melted off the outsole. So it's probably good to find something that's more or less stitched around instead of glued on. And that's something that I've been looking for as well. But I kind of really wanted to talk about these particular boots because of the availability right now and the price. And again, through Amazon, and it's a reputable seller that I'm familiar with just in the gun industry, and that's Bowtac. So it ships straight from Las Vegas from Bowtac. So you'll be supporting Bowtac mostly, and then a little bit of Amazon because Amazon gets a little bit of a cutback. I The perfect size for me are 8 wides. I suggest if you get into these boots, go ahead and get the wide size if you can find them. I find the 8 wide or the 8.5 wide are literally perfect. They're very comfortable. You could actually go half a size down and get the wides and still make it work. Like I think these particular multicam ones, these are 7.5 wides and they fit, and they're relatively comfortable. But I did have to return a pair of 7.5s, just straight 7.5s, not the wides, because they're just too tight, right? So I typically wear between an 8 and an 8.5 for the most part. I know shoe manufacturers will have differing sizes for the most part, but I'd say that Altamas are pretty true to size. So just kind of keep in mind that when you buy Altamas, you might have to buy a different pair of insoles, especially if you wear them every day. So I bought these through Amazon just because it was easy, convenient for the most part, and that's going to be an extra cost. But I've also bought like a $10 pair of like memory foam insoles, and they worked okay for a while. So I don't think that's a huge up cost. And like I said, man, $40, $40 for a decent pair of boots. Again, this is I have worn these particular pair of boots every day at my work for like the last 2.5, 3 months or so, and that's the wear that you can see on them. So it's holding up really, really well. These shoes were actually shoes, boots, whatever you want to call them, were designed by a Navy SEAL, I believe, and you'll hear that crap a lot, but I actually think it's true. So the Altama company seems like it's a legit company. A lot of people have good experiences with them. These are the OD green ones. I thought those were pretty cool. Um, I found like the solid colors are more expensive than the camouflage colors, but I like camouflage. These are black multicam, which I thought was pretty sick. These black multicams are $50 on Amazon, and they only come in the urban assault, not the maritime assault that I can find on Amazon. But very cool boots, man. And I kind of wanted to share that now because of the pricing, because I bet the pricing isn't going to stay that price for very long. It's been that price for like the last 3 months through Botac. In fact, I think they've lowered their price on these by $10, and I think on these by $10. They're all in stock. It's not like there's only like 8 left. It just says in stock. I don't know what that means or anything, but I would imagine that's 20, 30, maybe even 50 pairs in the particular size. Now, just keep in mind if you wear like a different size than I do, the prices do vary sometimes. But I've seen at least on the M81 Woodlands and the multicams that they do have multiple sizes for $40 and $50 respectfully. So uh, yeah, that's why I've been ordering multiple pairs, because there's nothing like finding a comfortable pair of shoes or boots, right? And you wear them, you love them, you break them in, and 2, maybe even up to 3 years down the road, when they're starting to fall apart a little bit, you want to look for the same shoe, and you get really disappointed because they're 3, 4 times the price, or you even can't find the same model anymore. I've ran into that with a few pair of shoes of mine where I love the shoes, and I can no longer find them like at all. Like the Nike quit making them, Adidas quit making them for whatever reason, and it sucks because I feel like new tennis shoes are extremely ugly and bulky. I don't like the look of new tennis shoes for the most part, and they're expensive. Like a decent pair of Nikes now, you're looking at 100, maybe $120. A decent pair of Adidas. I bought Shoot, I don't even know what the. I'll go grab them real quick, just to show you. So excuse me. I do buy nice shoes, but I typically don't want to use my nice shoes to work in, right? All right, let's show you these. How about these? These were expensive. They got some special like material or something in them. What are these called? The Ultra Boosts. So they're extremely lightweight. They're like very cushiony. These are a pair of shoes that I absolutely love, and these are the Mizuno Wave Prophecies. These are expensive shoes too, but again, I've worn these to work. I just don't like to because these are $200 pair of shoes. And I'll show you my last pair that I had. My last pair have absolutely. I had them for, I don't know, probably a decade. I've had these for a decade. You can see how I wore these to work every day when I first started working at the company that I work for. And I'd wear these every day to my last job, and I wore the crap out of these shoes. So these were expensive shoes, but you can see how much they're falling apart now. But I've had them for over a decade, and I literally just wore the absolute living shit out of these shoes. So I'm more than happy to spend like $200 on a pair of shoes if they hold up. I just, as much as I love these shoes and as well as they've held up, still dropping $200 on them is, it's a little tough, right? It's a little tougher than I want to drop on a pair of shoes at one time. For $200, you can get 4 pairs of these, and it's much easier to come up with like 40 or 50 bucks than it is 200. Some people just don't have $200 to spend on a pair of shoes, and I get that. That's why I'm kind of guiding you guys to this right now. So I don't know. I thought I'd do a video on shoes and boots and just my experiences with shoes and boots, because if you work outside, you work in the field, you like to wear tennis shoes, I'm guessing other people have had the issue with cheap, even name brand shoes. Like these are Nikes, right? And these are New Balances. Like I buy name brand shoes. Now I'll cheap out on my boots like these, but I'll buy nice boots too. Like, I don't even know what brand this is. Though these are Bates, so these are just, basic military issued boots. I actually ended up looking out on these pair of boots. I found these. I go to a thrift store and I look for, what are these? I looked these up. These were like $160 pair of boots. I go to a thrift store, look for like camouflage stuff. Found like a multi-cam, military shirt, and they had both these pair of boots in my size, and they were asking like $16 a piece for them. So I grabbed those 2 pair of boots for $16 a piece. You can do stuff like that too. Shop at thrift stores. There's no shame in it, at least in my opinion. Just be careful because, I mean, these look absolutely just unworn, like brand new. The tread on them's good. Shoes are kind of iffy buying used. I typically don't buy used shoes, but I couldn't pass up that deal. So anyway, it's going to be like almost a 20-minute video just on boots. Like always, guys, if you found any sort of value in the information that I'm giving you, you can let me know. If not, I understand watching a 20-minute video about some guy talking about his experiences with shoes and boots probably isn't the most interesting thing, but I actually thought some people might find it useful or interesting, right? And for those of you who like camo and stuff, like I was just cleaning I cleaned like 4 or 5 police departments around my area, depending on what the job is and stuff. And I wore my M81 Woodlands, and they were getting an absolute kick out of them. Like I had a couple guys comment like, "Man, where'd you get those shoes? I like those shoes." Obviously the tactical guys are going to like the camo and stuff. It's not the most gray man look. obviously, but I'm really not going for a gray man look. I meant, look, I'm wearing a multicam shirt and tactical pants. I just roll with it now. I find the clothing very comfortable for the most part. It holds up well, and I like the look of it. So I just go ahead and I just roll with it. I personally think today, seeing stuff like Molly and camouflage, especially here in Southern Florida, it's not a big deal. Everyone and their mother wears like real trees, mossy oak. They're wearing like Huck fishing gear and camouflage. To me, it's not a big deal. Like you'll see regular everyday people wearing camo. Now, when it comes to camo shoes, I don't see a whole lot of people wearing like multi-cam shoes. But man, you can't tell me if you like multicam that that isn't a good looking shoe. I don't know. I like it, and for the most part, if you wear pants, most of the camouflage is going to be covered up anyway, and you're going to see a toe, so it's not such a big deal. The black multicam is a little more subdued in look, a little bit harder to pick that up, but I'll wear these with shorts, and I think it's a cool look. These are very good gym shoes too because they're super flat. So if you're doing stuff like squats, like I do every now and then when I actually want to train legs, these are actually really nice shoes for the gym. And I gotta love the OD green and stuff. So I don't see many OD green shoes. I kind of wish the whole shoe would have been OD green, but it's not a big deal. OD green is probably my favorite color. And then the M81 Woodland, it's definitely a classic. And you can see, man, like I've been, I'll clean this off just to get the chemicals off of it. I don't worry about creasing, and stuff. I definitely use these shoes hard, and the Cordura is absolutely wearing fantastic on here. I have no complaints about it. I'll probably order another pair of the multicam, another pair of the black, and I'll probably order another pair of the M81 Woodlands just because they're so inexpensive. At $40, why not have three pairs ready? And you can pack them into duffel bags if you have like a get home bag, or you want to throw an extra pair in like the trunk of your car, because it is always nice to have extra pair of shoes or boots. Like if you go out like fishing, hiking, if you're an outdoors person like I am, it's always nice to have an extra pair of like socks and boots in your car, because your feet might get wet or they'll get muddy and dirty, and it's just nice to be able to get a fresh pair of socks and shoes on. Nothing like keeping your feet dry and healthy. That's a big proponent of mine. In fact, I will pack like I have plate carriers, backpacks on them. Sometimes I'll put a pair of shoes and some socks in there, just because I find importance in that type of gear. For me, it's more or less how is fit as much ammo and water as you can carry type thing. Um, I'm not going to show you it because it's on a stand next to me, but I've got a plate carrier with, I think there's 13 or 14 magazines altogether in it, along with hydration bladder, and I've even thrown this extra pair of Altamas in there with a pair of darn tough socks, which are really nice socks to use as well. So buy quality gear, and just because you want quality gear doesn't mean you have to pay ridiculous prices. Um, I'm a big proponent in shopping around, being smart with your money. I might sound cheap by saying, look for sales and coupon codes, but honestly, if you shop around, man, like it can save you a lot of money. And I'm all about supporting companies, but I can absolutely tell you, if you buy these boots on something like Amazon, you're supporting three different companies: Botac, Altama, and unfortunately Amazon. But I would imagine that Amazon probably gets the smallest cut out of all of it. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping at least. So anyway, if you made it this far, like most of my videos, they're one take and uncut, unedited. You've had the joy of probably watching my cat play with my shoelace for the last, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so. But that is Chad on the side there playing with my shoelace. Say hi, Chad, to YouTube. But if you made it this far, I appreciate it, guys. If you made it halfway, that's cool too. But I hope you found some value in the information I'm giving you, and that's all it is. It's just information. Take it or leave it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to take it. But I think boots are one of those things that you don't hear a lot of tactical people talking about. And sometimes it's hard to find a good pair of shoes. So this isn't a long-term review. I'll probably do an update after a year or two and just tell you how it's going. But from my experience of buying a lot of shoes, and I have a lot of shoes. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of a sneakerhead for a while. I've got like Jordans, and I got some really nice shoes. I don't have a problem spending money on shoes, especially when I was making six figures in a salary position and stuff. It made it a little bit easier to do that, especially with like no kids and a wife and stuff. You know what I mean? Single guy making six figures. I was kind of like living the bachelor life for a while, but I'm no longer in that position, so I definitely have to pinch pennies a little bit more. And even while I was in that position, I still tried to find the best deals. Right? If you can save $20 here, $30 there, hell, if you can save a $2 here, $3 there, that shit adds up. Right? I've I'm going to say one more thing before I end the video. I know exactly how much it costs for me to live. I've broken everything down. The cost of what it takes like for rent, electricity, water, like per day. How much do I have to make in order for me to survive? And I'll factor everything in, including my cute little kitty cats that I own, and for the litter, the food, the tuna that I give them every day. I give them the tuna twice a day. I factor all that costs in, right? My gasoline. Um, I try to only spend $8 for 3 meals a day, and I can usually do that. Are there going to be days that I spend a little bit more? Absolutely. But, just the general cost of things every day, break it down for yourself and then start budgeting and seeing how much you can save. Um, and if you can save like, you know, even $2 a day, putting it aside for something, you can end up buying yourself something nice, in a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months or six, but whatever. Everyone has a budget. I'm just trying to help people and give them information. And if I won't say like I'm not going to say people need help out there, but if you ever want to reach out and ask me any questions about how I find some, because people have asked me like, man, how do you afford this hobby? I'm just very smart with it. Do I spend a lot of money on it? Absolutely, I spend a lot of money on it. But um, where some people might only buy two pairs of these Altamas at full MSRP just because they it's convenient to purchase from their favorite retailer or something. I mean, instead of owning five, you only own two. I don't know. That's just an example that I'm giving. But anyway, this has been a long enough video. Again, appreciate any sort of comment, any view, any like, whatever, guys. If not, that's cool too. But I'll I'm making some more videos here about some pants, and just stay tuned, guys. Appreciate it.